Good afternoon, Iowa friends. On behalf of the Battleship IOWA Museum and the Pacific Battleship Center, welcome to this special recognition ceremony today. I'm Jonathan Williams, President and CEO. We're here today to acknowledge the generous contribution by one of our partners, Phillips 66. Phillips 66 has proudly supported our Veterans Resource Center for 2 years now, and as you can see, we've got some great participants here from both Phillips 66, the Iowa, and from our local veterans community. We are also being very safe and keeping our physical distancing guidelines, and I do have my mask when I walk away. I'd like to invite our chairman of the board to say a few words, Rear Admiral Mike Shatinsky, after I acknowledge those joining us today. Representing Phillips 66, and folks, please wave your hand when I announce your name, Ken Dami, Pacific or Public Affairs Manager. Tim Seidel, Refinery Manager, Phillips 66, LA Refinery. Mike Bechtel, Environmental Manager. And from the Iowa, Jolene DeRage, Vice President of Development. Janice Bowman, Manager, Military and Veterans Affairs. Behind our video camera is none other than Moran Fangor, who never gets any recognition, but she's behind that camera right now. And of our ship's photographer, Greg Bishop, as well. I'd like to, of course, recognize our distinguished veterans, which I should have done first, because we are here today with our freedoms because of their service. David LaRiva, who's an explosive safety officer, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Formerly, David is retired Senior Master Sergeant who served as an explosive ordnance disposal technician in the Air Force for just shy of 22 years. Mike Dowling, not sure, did I see Mike? Are you out there? Mike Dowling's one of our President's Advisory Boards. He's also a veterans advocate here in LA, and he's a former K-9 dog handler for the United States Marine Corps. And as we say with the Marines, he's still a Marine. Thomas Woods, President and founder of Warriors on Track and former Director of Operations of Military Programming at the Brain Treatment Center. Tom was attached to the 19th Division with the U.S. Army as a cavalry scout. Andre Andrews, CEO of Warriors Road, and third Vice Commander in American Legion Ronald Reagan Palisades Post 283. He's a former supply clerk for the United States Navy with deployment to Bahrain, and we were just talking, he was also on the USS Sullivans, which of course has a tie to our Battleship Iowa because the Sullivan brothers were from the state of Iowa. Christine Stanley, CEO, professional veteran, Program Manager, Volunteers of America, Chair for California Women Leadership Council, and Board Member for the National Veterans Foundation. Formerly, she retired as the NCIOIC Commander Support Staff with the United States Air Force. And Melanie Alvarez, Program Manager for Goodwill Southern California's Veteran Employment Program, and Melody served with the United States Navy. This generous grant from Phillips 66 will support our veterans programs here aboard the Iowa and allow us to provide services, support, and opportunities to veterans in LA County, including those who comprise a little over 50% of our crew. At this point, I would like to invite Rear Admiral Mike Shatinsky, U.S. Navy retired, to say a few words before welcoming up Tim Seidel from Phillips 66.
Tim and the Phillips 66 team, welcome aboard. All veterans, my fellow veterans, welcome aboard. Iowa crew, thank you all for being here today. It's not often I get to wear the cloth of our nation, and I did today in an outreach event for the youth of our country. It was exciting for me to put my uniform back on. First off, I think, has anybody here seen the movie Battleship? I think I'm a much better admiral than Liam Neeson was on a battleship, but that's just me. But it's inspiring to put the uniform back on because it reminds me of the service that I did, and it especially reminds me of those I served with. People ask me if I miss the Navy after 37 years in uniform, and I can honestly say I don't miss being away from home. I don't miss being tired all the time, but I miss my sailors every day. I miss those sailors, those Marines, those soldiers, those airmen that I served with every day. What's truly tragic to me is that we lose 22 or so veterans a day to suicide, and that's a terrible number. It's a true number. I did push-ups on this forecastle here just a couple of days ago for that. And there's so much more that needs to be done than just push-ups, and it's not just something that the VA can resolve for us. It's something that has to be done every day and veteran by veteran, and there are nonprofits out there that just do a phenomenal job outreaching. Even that one veteran that they can save is worth everything that we put into that. The Battleship Iowa Museum has veterans as a pillar. It's one of the key things that we function on. As Jonathan said, about half of the crew here, the volunteer crew, is our veterans, and it's a home away from home. And what I've discovered in my time working on veteran suicide issues, because I've been in the middle of it and had some difficult times working with vets on this crucial issue, is that what I really think is important is that they need to be part of something bigger than themselves, with a team of their brothers and sisters doing something extraordinary, and they get that here in the Iowa, and they get that in these other nonprofits that reach out to them and provide adrenaline therapy and a chance to be with their brothers and sisters, or whatever it is. There's something out there for every veteran, but the Iowa is a great platform for that. We just support the veterans on board, but we're a veterans resource center where we can support veterans across the span of all the resources that are out there. So if we can save one, it's worth every penny of what goes on, what we do here. So Phillips 66, thank you so much for stepping forward with this money. It is going to make a difference. It really is important that we carry on this work. With that, I'll turn it back to Jonathan for the presentation.
Next up, I'd like to invite Tim Seidel from Phillips 66. He's the refinery manager of our local Phillips 66 refinery, and of course they do amazing things for our community, and we just happen to be one of the beneficiaries of that. Tim, say a few words.
Thanks, Jonathan. So first of all, thank you all the veterans. We really appreciate you for all the service that you've done, given us. It means so much to all of us. I can say, coming from a strong military background, my grandfather served in World War II. My father was a Vietnam vet, did two tours in Vietnam, and followed by his two younger brothers, one in the Marines and one in the Navy. And being the only Seidel in three generations not to serve, my dad used to always tell me, it's okay we served so you didn't have to, and I do appreciate the service that you guys all have given us. On behalf of Phillips 66, it's just great to continue to be a partner with the Iowa, the programs that they have here, both for the community but more for the veterans that come back, and trying to find them new homes when they are coming back from being active service members. We take a lot of pride in hiring a lot of veterans into the refinery. I would say on a normal basis we have well over 5% of our population are veterans that work at the refinery. They work as unit operators, they work as craftsmen, mechanics, they work as engineers who go take an opportunity to find education through some of the good programs that are with the military when they come back from active service. So it's such an important program, and we really appreciate what you do. With that, thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Tim. We're going to do a check presentation at this point. If you guys want to join us or kind of socially distance both sides. And then Ken, if you want to, however we want to do this up here.